Hey guys, Darrell Brooks' case has arrived on the Court of Appeals radar. The first activity is, as you'd suspect in a legal proceeding, a delay. Here, it's the court reporter gaining an extension of time to file the transcript. I've been asked, hey, what are the time frames for the appeal? What are we looking at? So let's go over this real quick. I don't think that's been covered discreetly. Again, an appeal is a review by a higher court of the trial below on specific issues the appellant, the person who's appealing, claims is a mistake important enough to reverse or vacate what happened in the court below. That's what an appeal is. It's not a new trial with new evidence and stuff. All right, in general, what does an appeal look like in Wisconsin? In 2021, there were over 1,000 criminal filings at the Court of Appeals. Now, just over 400 of those were no merit filings. On the circuit's front, I'd said before, appeals are largely a paperwork exercise. When oral arguments do occur, they're short and to the point. But how often do they occur? Well, according to the state of Wisconsin and the Wisconsin Court of Appeals, one oral argument was heard in a criminal case in 2021 stats. One. So not good odds. Now, how often are criminal cases affirmed? In other words, how often does the defendant lose? They report 83% of the time the defendant loses. Probably worse than that, since not all of the remaining 17% are full reversals. Some are just modifications and things like that. So really, they probably lose about 90% of the time. Oops. All right, let's get to that timeline. The stats show that 3 judge decisions by opinion or by no merit review, they appear to float around 500 days more or less. And this is measured from the date of the notice of appeal. This ain't Amazon Prime, people. All right, so then when was the notice of appeal filed in this case? That's where we start from. It hasn't even been filed yet. He was convicted November 17, 2022, and then he filed a notice of his intention to seek and pursue post-conviction relief on November 29th. Now, when this happened, the clerk forwarded that to the state public defender's office, as the clerk should have. It does trigger some things, but we'll go through those. On January 6th, 2023, the public defender's office does what they're supposed to do and requests the court record, and they offer up an attorney, Michael Covey, who was appointed counsel. Now, when that happens, when these requests are made, the transcript is supposed to be provided within 60 days. That's 80920 sub 2 sub G sub whatever 2 and 80932 G1. The clerk of court should forward the case record within 60 days as well. So once these things are requested, within 2 months, you're supposed to get them. So when that happened in January, the transcript should have been filed in March, but that has not happened. As I mentioned earlier, the court reporter asked for an extension of time to not provide those in March, but rather 60 days later. So now we're looking at May 8th, 2023 after this extension of time was granted. Will there be another one? I don't know, but probably not for this. Now, once the transcripts are filed, and again, that may happen May 8th, then a notice of appeal is due within 60 days from that. That's when the notice of appeal happens. So that would be July. And based on our stats of about 500 days for these cases, a decision would come from that point around November 2024. But that's if the notice of appeal, whether it's a normal one or a no merit notice of appeal, is filed within 60 days. It is often the case that appellate counsel will seek and receive 60-day extensions to file the notice of appeal. Just one extension here could push the case to 2025. And when Brooks looks out the window, cities will probably look like this by then. Or maybe they'll just be ashes. I don't know. Or probably just the same. Whatever. He's not a future time lord. This is going to hurt. Now, the case could go faster or slower because the Court of Appeals can handle cases in any order they want, pretty much however they want. Also, if there is a notice of appeal that's filed, then there are briefing deadlines and things. But since those are all contained in the average time of the 500 days that the Court of Appeals takes for decision from the notice of appeal, I won't bore you with all that. So there you go. We're not even to the notice of appeal yet. And when we are, it's likely that the Court of Appeals will take a long, long time before it reaches any decision. For Darrell, he needs to get comfortable in his cell. That's it. Thanks. Bye.